Hey guys, what's going on? It's your good guy here, PrinceOnyx. I know you guys have been waiting for this, and I'm finally able to do it after catching up on all of my shows that I had missed and the shows that I had to rewatch. I am finally here to give you guys my review on the season 2 premiere of Empire. So let's go ahead and let's get into it, shall we? We start off with a free Lucious concert, and it takes place in like New York or something like that. And yeah, the show takes place in New York, even though they film here in Chicago. But it's in like I think it's Madison Square Garden or Central Park or one of those like big parks in New York is where the concert is taking place. And basically, it's like a free Lucious concert, but it's also like a Black Lives Matter type of thing too. It's like the atmosphere of it. But anyway, backstage we have Cookie and Hakeem talking about just pretty much talking, and Hakeem is really against, the plan that they're going with to overthrow Jamal and Lucious and pretty much get Empire. And Cookie just tells him, just to shut up and focus on the plan. Just, forget about your ill feelings towards Jamal. That stuff doesn't matter right now. What matters is us, our real plan is what matters. So you shut up and stay focused and, stop letting all this other BS sidetrack you from the real mission. So, Jamal and Cookie, they briefly talk before she goes on stage, because then we see Cookie coming down in a cage dressed like a gorilla, and then she takes off the outfit and then she gives this speech, which actually the speech that Cookie had did, that was given to her before they had started filming that scene. So I don't know. Originally, I don't know what she was going to say when she took off the costume, but the speech was literally given to her before they filmed that scene. So a lot of people don't know that. Anyway, basically, she was talking about how the justice system and how mainstream white America views black people, specifically black men, and how they view us as animals and wild beasts and savages who need to be trapped in cages. And just again, it was giving you that like Black Lives Matter type of feel. So I liked how they had that in there, and it's ironic because with the show being on, it's ironic because with Empire being on Fox, it's just like, for Lee Daniels and whoever else wrote that, for them to like put that in there, it's just like, okay, but it's kind of like a it's like a tongue to cheek type of thing, slap in the face, if you will, turn the other cheek or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, next we see the artist Sean Penn, and he is joined with Jamal and Hakeem, and they are on stage performing this very powerful song. And when Jamal is performing, you can really tell that he's not all the way there, because with him being the head of Empire, he pretty much has to do everything that his father has been doing. And you can tell that he's really struggling with not controlling. I don't know where my head is. Anyway, he's struggling with managing, being in charge, because this is the first time in his life where he's been in charge. And it's like with all the stuff that happened last season, with how he was fighting to get his father's, love and approval, now that he got that, or what he thinks, is his father's love and approval, he's just struggling with it. But meanwhile, Portia helps Cookie get out of the cage and off stage, and then Cookie and Portia, they go to meet different celebrities who are there, different like black activists. They meet Al Sharpton, and of course he just tells Cookie that he will not help her. Then they meet this famous designer, fashion designer. I think his name is Andre or something like that. I'm not too sure. And he pretty much just shaded the outfit that Cookie was wearing. She, just like, she walked off from his ass. Then you have Don Lemon on there, and it was just like, and I believe he was probably in on it too, on the joke, because it's like, with Don Lemon, he's not really respected or liked in the black community. So I think that was an inside joke that even he was in on it. So it's like, Cookie just pretty much slid to the left on his ass and just kept it moving. Oh, excuse me. Meanwhile, we then see Lucious, who is in jail, and mind you, the time frame of season 2, it takes place 3 months after all the stuff that happened in season 1. So it's 3 months later, and Lucious is in jail, and he sees the concert on this like big screen TV. Well, it's like a somewhat big screen TV, and he smiles, like he smiles just because he sees Jamal performing, and he knows that See, here's the thing: Lucious knows what's really going on, because he is the true mastermind behind all of this. And it sucks because it's like when you have a character like Cookie, it's just like, I feel like if her character was written better and if she was more intelligent, because like when you think about it in hindsight, Cookie is not that intelligent. Really, she is just kind of bought on for the one-liners and the a bit of comical relief, if you will. But you can tell that her character is not that smart. Like, I get it, she's been in jail for 17 years, but that still don't mean that you just pop out of jail and think that everything that happened 17 years ago is how things are running nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with Cookie's character, it feels like in hindsight that she's really just a gimmick, if you will, on the show. So, it is what it is. But anyway, we then see Jamel, Cookie's cousin, who lets Lucious know that Frank Gathers is coming to the jail where the two of them are at. And Lucious just lets him know it is what it is. I had nothing to do with what you did that got you here, and with you, killing one of his boys. That's your problem. That's not my problem. So, in other words, I'm not helping you out. And so he just pretty much left Jamel out in the cold to dry. And we all know what his fate was. Anyway, we then see Andre lying. He brings Tricky and Mimi to Cookie, and Cookie then takes Mimi out in front to see the investments of Empire because they want her money because she is a billionaire and they are looking to get $250 million from her in order to invest, in order to have interest in Empire and secure a spot. Now, to be honest with you, in hindsight, where they messed up is all of the stuff that they were discussing. It was all verbal. There was no legal binding document, binding the two of them to their agreement. So in hindsight, Cookie and Anika, and really it surprised me because like Andre and Anika should have known to do some type of contract because Cookie, like she's more of a verbal agreement type of person. And while that is okay, a verbal agreement is nothing compared to a legally binding documentation. Anybody who is smart, no matter what type of business that you do, you know that a contract is better than a verbal agreement. Yes, a verbal agreement can hold up in some courts, but a legal binding contract, a legal binding document will hold up even more and even better. You feel me? Anyway, next we have Lucious, who is he's on the basketball court when Frank Gathers, who is played by Chris Rock, he is pretty much being bought in. So the two of them meet in the hallway with some goons behind them. And at first you think they're gonna fight each other, but really they just pretty much they greet each other and just say what's been up with you, how's Cookie, all this stuff, yada yada. All right, catch you on the flip side, and they both go their separate ways. And then next we see Cookie and Hakeem entering the building, and they of course Cookie and pretty much there was like a little line in there that was shading 50 Cent, so it was pretty funny that they shaded 50 Cent or whatever. Anyway, they see Jamal and he pretty much tells Becky to handle all of his appointments and all this other stuff and to cancel this one appointment that he really should go to, but because he's busy with all this other stuff, he really doesn't have time for that. Then on top of that, he tells Hakeem that his album cover is whack and that he needs to redo that over. And to be honest with you, here's my predicament. Well, really it's not so much a predicament because as we can see in the previews, what's going to happen this season, Hakeem pretty much leaks his album onto the internet. So it's just like how I had predicted, along with one of my subscribers, Ethan Wayne, that I felt like Hakeem was just going to pull a Beyonce and release the album on his own and just do that because he feels that Jamal is intimidated by him because Hakeem feels that his album is better than Jamal's album, and just that And it's just that Jamal hasn't been on tour either, so it's like his album had debuted in the top 10 or whatever, but because of him not doing a tour in order to support the album ended up dropping to number 22 on the charts. So the album is still on the charts, but it's just at number 22 because he hasn't been able to tour because he's been running the Empire, or at least trying to keep his head above water while he runs the Empire. Just saying. Anyway, man, y'all can wait. I swear these things are so good. Anyway, what else happened? Oh yeah, and then Andre tells Jamal about a meeting that he has to go to, but see, it's just like, Jamal is really going through it. Like, it just seems like it's one thing after the next. It's like, oh, you got this to do, you got this to do, this. It's like So much stuff is going on. This he can't handle it. Anyway, what else happened? Next, we see Jamal, and Jamal goes to meet Lucious, and pretty much they discuss everything from Cookie and to to Andre, Hakeem, and Vernon being taken. Lucious tells him that Vernon needs to be taken care of, but Vernon, he's already been taken care of, as we saw in season 1. And then also he was telling Jamal to find out who that woman was, who Mimi was, who Cookie was all hugged up with on the screen when he had saw the camera pan over to them. He just pretty much told Jamal to find out what Cookie is up to because he believes that she's up to something. So you see, again, it's like Cookie may think that she's one step, two. She may think that she's 5 steps ahead of Lucius, but really Lucius is 10 steps ahead of her. So again, I feel like Cookie's character should have been developed a little bit more because it's like, okay, I get it. She got out of jail after being in there for 17 years, but damn, does she not have the intelligence or the common sense to at least like get like and again, it's like the team that we have is Cookie, Anika, Andre, and Hakeem. Now, Hakeem may not know too much about contracts, too much about business, so you really can't count on him. But then you have Anika and Andre who are more of the business people. So shouldn't they have stepped in and been like, Cookie, we need to get contracts written up. We need to do this. Couldn't they themselves? It's just like I feel like Cookie is being set up to fail at each and every given turn. She's being set up to fail, and it's just a slap in the face to her over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So next we have Rhonda and Andre in bed, and Andre is having nightmares about him and Rhonda burying Vernon's body, and it's just really bothering him. And Rhonda just asks him if Rhonda asks him if he has been talking to his pastor at all, because she knows that he's still going to church or whatever. She just wants to know, has he been talking to anybody, and has he like confessed to what the two of them did, because they know that Lucious will not be found guilty on the murder of Vernon because of his whereabouts during the time. And so, basically it's like they don't, my thing is this. If it comes down to it, I feel that, if Rhonda and Andre do end up getting caught up later on about the whole thing with Vernon being killed, I feel like Rhonda will try to turn it on Andre and he'll try to turn it on her, and the two of them are just going to pretty much turn it on each other. So it's either they're going to go down together, or one of them is going down and the other one is walking away scot-free. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they're going to explore that, but it's just, we'll have to see. Next we have Frank and Jamil, Cookie's cousin. They're talking, and he just wants to know, who is it that snitched on him. And pretty much Frank just lets Jamil know that Frank lets Jamil know that he knows that he killed Tyrone. He just wants to know who snitched on him and got him in jail. And Jamil, looking all beat up, he just said, Cookie, the one who snitched on you, that was that. And so, many of us thought that, well, at least I thought that, he just, beat him up a little bit more and then let him go. But lo and behold, he killed him and then had his boys, decapitate him. And somehow, some way, I believe that Frank got some connects outside of jail, and somebody got into that ME's office, the coroner's office, and took the head, put it in a box, and sent it over to Cookie. So clearly, whoever he has on the outside working for him, they know where Cookie lives. So it's not a matter of, it's not a matter of him not knowing where she lives, because clearly with him sending the box off to her apartment, he knows where she lives. He has people on the outside. So, it's crazy. Anyway, next we have Cookie, Andre, and Hakeem and Anika. They're having a party for Mimi. It's like girls kissing girls. It's like a hot and steamy sex party. They're pretty much trying to really get this woman turned out and turned on in order for her to take an interest in Empire. And they pretty much, again, they're trying to lock a deal with her in order to do this hostile takeover. So Jamal and Michael are apparently back together, and they are having dinner. And then they mentioned Ryan, and pretty much Jamal was just like, oh, I think it was Michael or one of them said that like, oh, Ryan is a hoe, and that I made a mistake, blah 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 blah. And my thing is, I felt the way about that, because I felt like, okay, why? What, Savannah? Go. I'm doing something. What?
I got blueberry ice cream. Okay. So you give me this.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. So, like I was saying, I felt a little way about that because I felt like, why is it that Ryan's character had to be a hoe? Why couldn't it have just been that the two of them mutually broke up? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, also the character, not the character, the actor who plays Ryan, he is going to be in the Marvel Netflix original series Jessica Jones. His character is Jessica Jones' neighbor. So I believe that that's why they had wrote his character out for season two, because he basically, he got booked for another show. So he's off filming that. And so there's that. But I did feel a way about it because it's like, and I agree with Justin J. I would prefer to see more black love on TV. It's just, I felt like, why is it that he had to be called? Why is it that oh, he was a hoe, da 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 da. Why did they have to say that? You know what I'm saying? So I just felt the way about that. So I don't know if that's like a part of real life for Lee Daniels, because clearly you can tell. Listen, even a blind person can tell that Jamal is like the spitting image. His character is the spitting image of Lee Daniels. So I don't know if again, real life was imitated in that scene, but that's just me. Let me know your thoughts on that. That's just me. Anyway, let's see. Meanwhile, back at the party, Mimi wants to dance, and pretty much, Anika, she wants Anika to dance with her, and Cookie just told her, look, you better do what you need to do, and make it clap, and secure us this deal. So take your coat off a little bit, do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So again, do what you need to do. So Anika gets up, and Mimi is hitting that shmoney dance, and just and then you got Anika twerking to the song, and I was just like, man, you better go ahead and hit that angry twerk. Oh boy, that shit was hilarious. Anyway, next we have, what? Let me put a pause in this right quick. To be honest with you, this first episode, it wasn't as like exciting as last season's like debut. And then also, like, they had 16 million people tune in to Empire this past Wednesday, whereas the season one finale had 17 million people. So they were short 1 million people. 1 million people, but nonetheless, they still have like big ratings or whatever. But it's just that I felt that this episode, starting off, there was really little to no transition at all, and it was sort of just like it was very quick and snappy and like in your face. Like every time I looked down to jot some notes, I looked up, we're at another scene. Let me jot those notes down. Look up, we're at another scene, another scene. It's like I felt like it was going too fast. Like I felt like there really wasn't no smooth transition. I felt like everything was sort of like fast paced, and I felt like it was just too much. Also, I felt like with the capacity of how many like special guest stars that we saw in this first episode, this is what I was talking about after season one had ended, about how I hope that they don't overstuff season two with so many guest stars, because I feel like it's like, okay, if you're trying, listen, okay, my thing is this: if you're trying to get almost every black every black person in Black Hollywood to be on this show, kudos to you. But it's just that don't overstuff it. You know what I'm saying? Overpack. Don't overpack the Don't overstuff it and overpack it with so many stars. It's just like, okay. So that's just my thing. That's just how I feel. Let me know again your comments. Let's have a discussion downstairs in the comment box. Anyway, so we have Portia and Cookie talking about something. Then Hakeem busts in and complain about how Jamal this and Jamal that, and I don't take orders from him. I take orders from you. Da 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 da. Blah blah blah. Cookie then tells him that it's alright because Mimi is in. So or at least that's what she thinks, that Mimi is in. Meanwhile, Lucious meets with his new prosecutor, Roxanne, and she pretty much is like, she's also, I think, not a Republican. She's also a congressperson, congresswoman, running for Congress or whatever. And so it's pretty much, I felt like with that scene right there, I felt like it was touching on how, and see, here's the thing, kids of this generation don't realize that long time ago, like 20, 30 years ago, there was a point in time where hip hop could not even be played on the radio almost. Like prosecutors and congressmen and congresswomen and, Congress people were trying to get rid of hip hop and basically ban it because they didn't understand it. They didn't like it. They felt like it was too radical, too revolutionary. They felt like it was just chaotic and destructive, yada, yada, yada. Basically, they were afraid of, our people waking up the masses, if you will, to what's going on in our neighborhoods and just, telling these stories and just, being uplifting and positive. So I felt like, because it's like nowadays people don't really realize that. They think that hip hop has been around for a long time, which it has, but there's a history within hip hop how there was a point in time again where hip hop almost could not be played on the radio, and it's like people got in trouble, some lost their jobs. It's like, people fought tooth and nail in order to get hip hop to be the respected art form that it is today. Now, is it really that much respected? I mean, I may have to do a separate video about that. But, people fought tooth and nail to get hip hop and rap to where it is today, where you do hear it on almost any and every radio station, and where, it transcends, different cultures and stuff like that. And, just, hip hop has been through so much that I feel like kids of this generation don't understand that. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, yeah, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, the prosecutor Roxanne, she was pretty much telling him to plead guilty and he won't die in jail and blah blah blah. And Lucious just read her up and down for filth and called her just a black bitch with cheap shoes. And then she was like, oh, they're not cheap, they're time forward. And they're not forward, they're time forward, da 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 da. It's like, girl, I'm pretty sure Lucious wouldn't give a damn if they was Gucci, Louis, Prada, whatever. Like, he wouldn't give a damn. To him, you are still just a cheap bitch. You're just a black bitch in cheap shoes, as he calls you. And basically, he sees what she's trying to do. She's basically trying to, again, in a sense, attack hip-hop and attack rappers, attack artists, and just, basically, she's pretty much shucking and jiving for the white man. I guess that's pretty much what they are illuminating to. Anyway, next we see that Frank is meeting with his daughters, and one of them raps, and he pretty much had her rap for him just to see if she was keeping up with her flows. And, Lucious overhears it, and he finishes up the rap. He finishes the rap for her, and he says that, I should sign her. You should let me sign her. Let her be on Empire. Da 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 da. Like, here's the thing. Even though Lucious is in jail, again, he can still make moves from within jail. Just like how Frank made moves to get old dude's head taken off and put in a box and sent to Cookie, Lucious can make moves happen within jail as well. So next we have not Michael. Next we have Jamal, who meets with Glad and Michael, and we see Miss Lawrence from Real Housewives of Atlanta. And in that scene, they had shaded Donnie McClurkin, and of course, Donnie McClurkin had he had tweeted something on Twitter. No one really cares about him. Let's just call it what it is. No one cares about him because he's an in the closet queen. Let's just be honest. People have a lot of dirt on him that he would not want to get out. So if he wants to continue to, gay bash people, if he wants to continue to gay bash, he can continue to do that. But people have dirt on him, so it's like Donnie McClurkin really should not be talking. So, I'm going to just leave it at that, because the shit that I've heard, that would end that motherfucker's career. Like that. That would end his career. Anyway, next we have, because again, it's like in my notes, like if I'm skipping some things, let me know in the comment section. Because again, this episode, it was going so fast. Like, it was in your face like this. Like, there was, again, little to no transitions at all. And the commercials were damn near 2 to 3 minutes, I felt like. They were like that. Like, the commercials, okay, gone. Now back to the show. It's like, damn. Anyway, Andre tells Hakeem that the takeover is happening. And then we see Andre, Hakeem, Cookie, and Anika walking down the hall, walking into the meeting. And they pretty much announced that they have their interest in Empire and that they announced the little hostile takeover thing. And Jamal, at first he was just like, bitch, what? And then he smirks a little bit, and then next thing we know, Mimi turns around in the chair, and she's like, oh, you gave me a good deal, but Lucious made a better deal. And then, Cookie just, and this is what made a lot of people laugh, even myself, because, child, Cookie told Anika, I thought I told you to sleep with her. And then Anika was like, I did. And she was like, I did. And then Cookie just like, you can't even dyke right? Like, oh, shit, like, damn. Also, a side note, Nika and Hakeem are apparently still all hooked up and booed up, but we'll see how long that lasts because later on in this season, Camilla is coming back. So, to be honest with you, I felt like they should have gave Hakeem another older lover to like go toe to toe with Anika, but I guess they're bringing Camille back for whatever reason. Now, I don't know how long she's going to be on Empire because Naomi Campbell is also on American Horror Story Hotel, which is coming out next month on the 7th. So I don't know how long she's gonna be on there. Because I mean, then again, they could kill her character off in Hotel, and then that way she has more screen time with Empire. Because I mean, with Gabrielle Sidibe, they had killed her character off in Freak Show because I believe she was, um, ooh, sorry for stuttering. It was going to be a bit of a conflict because Gabrielle Sidibe was on Empire, this past year and stuff like that. So they had killed her character off on Freak Show, like, they killed her off and that was that. So I don't know if what they're gonna do with Naomi Campbell's character on there. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, next, let's see. Yeah, so during this whole ordeal in the office, they're greeted by Lucious, who is on the screen in jail, on the screen via jail. Like I said again, he can make stuff happen outside just like Frank can. So it's just yeah, shit. Then next we have Cookie and Jamal. They meet privately, and Cookie finds Cookie and Jamal, they meet privately and they just talk a little bit. I forgot what it was they were talking about because, again, man, listen, it's just I don't even know what they was talking about because it's like, again, the transition, the lack of transitions. It is what it is. Okay, yeah, pretty much. I think she was pretty much letting Jamal know that like she was never going to take Empire from him. She was letting him know that they can all rule and control Empire together. It's just that she wants to take it from his father. But because Jamal has been brainwashed by Lucious, he does not understand that. So he sees his mother as the enemy, the same mother who had his back ever since he was a kid. So, he's against Cookie and she's just trying to hold on to him, and it's like all while Lucius is in jail, the mastermind of this whole thing. Anyway, next we see that Cookie finds a mysterious package at her door, and then when she enters her apartment, she sees her sister Carol and Carol's daughters, and she tells the daughters to go play or whatever, and then Carol lets Cookie know that the flowers are from Frank this time, so this is a real threat, and that she just letting her know that shit is about to get real. So then they open the box, and again they find Jamel's head in it, and it's just like, damn, holy shit. Then you got Cookie calling, and she pretty much tells Jamal to get to Lucius' house right now, and I'm glad that she told him that and told everybody else to get to his house, because you never know. Frank could have had people outside of the Empire building. He could have had them around the corner. He could have had them at Jamal's house, at Andre and Rhonda's house. He could have had people out there waiting for them to get to their prospective homes, and it could have been over just like that. So, also Jamal had to tell Michael that he had to cancel the event or whatever because, again, he's so busy with stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then Jamal, before Cookie had called, he was in the middle of recording a new song because it's the first time that he's been in the studio for like since 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Since he's been running Empire, he really hasn't put out no new music yet. So he was just trying some new things. The song was okay. Really, the songs in this episode, they were okay. They did not grab my attention like the first season songs. So it is what it is. Anyway, she also told Carol to get her daughters and for them to go to Lucius's house too. Then next we see Cookie goes to meet Lucius in jail, and she just pretty much wants him to fix their problem with Frank. And listen, Lucius, he again, like he even said, it's crazy how he can love and hate Cookie at the same time. He is still ride or die for Cookie and for his family. So it's like, you fuck with them, you fucking with him. So Lucius then talks to Frank, and he's just letting him know whatever issue that there is from the past between them. Hey, it is what it is. Let's squash that. Again, I can offer your daughter a deal to be on Empire. Of course, Frank ain't trying to hear all that because his issue is not with Lucius, but it's with Cookie. And then that's when Lucius lets him. I'm in the middle of something.
You said you taking a video.
Anyway, so you know, he just lets him know that like a yes.
Before and straw sleep, so you can just look out for him.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll make sure he's sitting there in my
Alright. Anyway, like I was saying, what was I saying? Yeah, so Frank was letting Lucious know that he wasn't trying to hear that, and just letting him know that his problem was with Cookie, and then Lucious just let him know that if you messing with Cookie, you know, messing with the family at all, it could be Cookie, Jamal, Andre, Hakeem, it could be any one of them, Rhonda, whoever. You mess with them, you mess with Lucious, and that's just that. So, you know, while Frank tells the guys who are surrounding them, he tells them to kill Lucious and make it quick and slow, or make it quick and painful or whatever. He tries to leave, and he ain't going nowhere. And Lucious just pretty much lets him know, I paid off his mother's mortgage. I'm going to give this guy a deal. This guy's going to be good. This one, I you know, handle some business with him. Got him what he needed. Got him his man. He pretty much let him know, I'm the one who really runs this. You don't run nothing. So he gets up and he just tells the guys to kill Frank, make it long, painful, and loud. And he walks off with a smirk on his face, and that is that. The problem is solved. So, meanwhile at the house, Jamal and Hakeem are talking, and pretty much Jamal threatens Hakeem that he will shove his album and, you know, put it on the shelf, and his album will not see the light of day. And, you know, pretty much Hakeem just calls him on his bluff, and he's just like, you just, again, you're jealous because my music is better than yours and I should be the one who runs Empire, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, Cookie comes and assures everybody that the problem has been solved. Y'all can go back to your respective homes. We are safe. Which then, in turn, Jamal kicks everybody out of his father's house. And Hakeem even let him know, this ain't even your house. But he kicks everybody out, and Cookie just tells everybody, go, I got this. In the midst of this, Rhonda she let the record be known that you ain't gotta tell me twice. Andre, let's get our stuff and let's go. You ain't gotta tell me twice. Anyway, Cookie tries to talk to Jamal and let him know that we can be a family again. We can do this. But of course, Jamal ain't trying to hear that, and he, you know, kicks everybody out, and he pretty much tells her to leave. And Cookie just pretty much smacked him twice, and she left. And Jamal closes the door, and he like breaks down and cries for a little bit, but then he toughens up and then walks off. So, you know, that's pretty much that. Empire, I don't know. This season, I'm trying to see if they are going to outdo themselves. But then again, I just hope that they don't overstuff this season with guest stars. Again, like, you know, it's okay that you're trying to get everybody in Black Hollywood to be on this show, but I just feel like don't overdo it. Don't overkill the show with so many celebrity guests. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so it is what it is. Let me know your comments in the description box. Let's have a conversation. What do you expect out of this season? What do you think is going to happen? And yeah, you know, let the games begin. Peace, and I will see you guys later. I'm thinking of doing another video. I'm not too sure. But either way, peace.